Good day, everyone. This is Woman to Woman, and I'm your host, Miss Nene.
And I'm your host, Lisa.
Today, we'd like to talk about teenage promiscuity. This show may touch on some things that's not suitable for kids under 18, so
Don't listen.
Yeah. Bottom line is, we are really just perturbed with all these young girls, like at a very, very young age, that are engaging in sexual acts and adult activities that,
children.
They're children.
So what age? 12? I say about 12.
Even younger.
Stop.
Yes. There was a show years ago. I don't know if you guys have heard of a Rainbow Party.
No.
Have you, Lisa?
What is that?
Okay, and this was children at the age of 9 and up. And as a matter of fact, Oprah did a show on it years ago. It had to be years ago if Oprah, had her talk show.
Oh, how I miss her.
Right. What a Rainbow Party is, you get a group of young girls as young as the age of 9. They all put on different colored lipstick. All different colored lipstick.
For what purpose?
The
rainbow? Is it the color of the rainbow?
No, all colors.
Okay.
And they have a young little boy, and they all go down on him.
What?
And by the time, it's basically to see who can go the furthest. And when it's done, his penis has all these things. I'm not making it up.
Girl.
Lisa.
Where are they doing this at?
All over.
So
and
this
especially
is the part
in suburban areas.
That is child pornography.
Exactly. But
they need to be persecuted.
These are 9-year-old kids.
Persecuted, prosecuted.
But these are 9-year-old little girls and 9, 10-year-old little boys.
They don't know what they're doing.
Exactly. And I'm not making this up, and I'm sure there's
Is it still going on?
Yes. In
California?
Yes.
Oh,
all over, Lisa. All over.
Well, I'm blown away.
And I talked to your son. He's familiar with it.
I thought this was more like the rave type of crap.
No, baby.
I'm going to need to talk to him. And see, I didn't know what it was, people. I'm going to need to talk to him.
Yeah, they're doing all sorts of things. And my issue is, we can't always put this on the parents. We keep talking about parents raise your kids and you're not your kids' friends. You're there to guide, teach, and
But hold on, at 9 years old, how is the parent not aware? At 9,
Lisa,
who house you going over?
They're going over their friend's house.
That is allowing this, and you don't come home as a child and say nothing to your parent?
Why would you come home and tell? You engaged in it willingly.
Because as I teach my children from a very young age, even my granddaughter, your vagina and your penis is not to be touched in any shape, form, or fashion by nobody, not your mama, not your daddy. It is you wash yourself up, you cover up. You teach them when they're 2 and 3. They put on clothes. You don't walk around naked with. And the thing is, we're teaching our children about molestation because that was going on back in my day, before my day, and so we grew up with knowing about molestation.
But
so
it's
why
not
would
considered
the child
molestation when you have 2 10-year-olds engaging in an act.
But my point is that child, if you're teaching them that even an adult to even have you do this act, that down there is private and nobody should be touching it.
Okay.
So why wouldn't they come home to the parent and say?
We know the logistics. But separate from the right thing to do. The right thing to do is to not even engage in it.
No, but I'm just saying, as a parent, your kid will come home and be like, "Mom, we was at Sally Mae house and we played this game and we did." A lot of times they say things out of innocence.
They know they're not innocent. They know what they're doing. They know they are performing oral sex. This day and age, we talked about the internet, all this stuff. Social media. This is not a problem. And what's even worse is I talk to kids that are like, yeah, I'm still a virgin. I just do oral and anal.
But you're not.
Oh my goodness. You're doing anal in middle school?
Yes, I've been through
I
that.
don't understand that.
My son was getting head in middle school.
Well, but see.
So I've been through that.
But
I'm
you
talking
found.
sixth
But
grade.
see, you found out.
7th grade.
He didn't come home and tell you. You found out. You know. But
Well, of course he's not going to tell me that because I've been preaching
Right,
to him,
and
and he know that part of his body is for
And
pleasure.
that's what I'm saying. These kids are not worried about coming home telling mom,
like
I just
12
played
or 13.
the rainbow game. They're not coming home saying, Mom, I just gave someone the back door.
I'm disturbed, people. This is disturbing.
It is very disturbing, and they're so promiscuous at this age. You know, high school, middle school, elementary now. You know, and we used to have to wait.
Elementary.
9 years old is elementary.
Yeah, that is ridiculous.
And I'm telling you, I seen the show. You know,
But if it was on Oprah, that's been a long time. It's been
Right.
like 10 years ago.
right, and it's still going on because I talked to all the kids that I have to deal with, you know, and they're doing that, you know, and they don't understand you can still contract all the same diseases that are out there from unprotected oral, anal, all that.
Correct. Who is the adults leading this thing?
There are no adults. These are all children.
But they can't throw themselves a party. So who house they meeting at?
Different homes. Parents work.
And so
Parents may think, there are a lot of latchkey kids out here.
Because I'm not allowing my child to go to nobody's house if a parent
But right, and that's, a lot of us don't. However, my kid is 16. You know, if I've had people come to my house, you know,
stay
and,
for weeks.
exactly, exactly.
But they were in junior, they were still about 12 or 13.
You know, if there's a will, there's a way. It's just the generation.
They have to have some type of parental supervision.
You
The kids don't
cannot
automatically-
monitor your kids.
No, but what I'm saying
they're
is
doing it
that-
on school campuses. There are buildings at the school that.
But they still have to see
That's
it.
a quote unquote unknown area on
Right, but
on
my
these
thing
campuses
is the
where these kids
child
are getting down.
still has to know how to give head, how to even proceed. They have to see that. They have to be taught that. They don't just, let's go. How do they even know about a rainbow party?
Lisa, you're being naive.
No, I'm asking the question.
If you get
How do
a
they
group
know?
of boys that's throwing a party and they're like, hey, nah.
But my point is, Nee, how do they know? Somebody had to
Some
teach
of them
them.
are not. No.
Somebody had to tell
No one
them.
have to teach you how to do a BJ.
I'm talking about the rainbow party. You want to invite people, you just make up something? No, you said specifically rainbow party.
Yes.
It's been going on a while, so where they get the name from? Somebody had to teach them, somebody
It
had
takes
to tell
one
them.
person to do it, and it's just like how everything else travels down social media. They probably Google how to do a BJ. I've seen all kind of stuff. I've picked up computers.
Blowjob?
Yes. Oh Lord.
So now it's not giving head, it's blowjobs?
They're the same thing.
No, I know that.
Yes.
Duh.
So you know,
the terminology
You can call it a BJ. You can call it head. You can call it oral. You can call it slob on the knob. Whatever you want to do. It's the same damn act. It's the same thing, and it's disgusting. And I have a problem with these little girls that are just doing this stuff. I mean, we know that boys are
I'm gonna have to start asking some kids, because
Boys
you know
are
I got
very-
great nieces and nephews
Talk to 'em.
at this age. I need to know if they know, and all my nieces and nephews is listening. Talk to your kids, because I want to know about this. I am blown away.
Yeah.
I want to know because their kids are around that age.
And you can porn is accessible,
disgusting.
Lisa.
Oh, I
Porn
know
is
it's accessible.
And what they see,
have
what
to
you
block your
what you
computers
take in,
and all that.
it's on their phones, it's on everywhere.
But you can block that stuff.
But it's everywhere. Everywhere. We've already discussed this. You can block that phone, but that little person right next to you got his not blocked. You can Google anything. I've seen it.
Yeah, I know
I've
that.
seen it.
But it still go back to the parents. You're not doing your part.
I've retrieved stolen phones and go through the phone, try to locate who it belongs to or whatever, and the things that I would see in these phones,
sure.
you
But
wouldn't
they're teenagers. We're talking about 9-year-olds. Your 9-year-old should be at home with you. First of all. And if they ain't at home with you and you taking them to a party, then God dang it, you should be going to the rainbow party with them.
That is so horrible.
It's like, I've been invited to a party. Okay, you know, when my kids was that age, it's like, okay, well, I'm going. I got to meet the parents. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is crazy. This is ludicrous.
Do you know, I don't know the statistics on these kids, but let me just say this.
That would explain why everybody's so thirsty,
and sexually driven at a very young age. And we can't always say it's the parent. I'm telling you, I know some very well-rounded parents that are totally shocked and in awe when they find out some of the behaviors that their kids have been indulged in.
I know. I'm one of them.
You know,
and mine was all over. Girl, don't get me started on his escapade.
So, you know, it's not always just the parent. And we, parents, have to work. We have to, you know, we have to provide and all that. So your kid, if that child has an idle mind and 13 minutes of self-time, they're liable to get into anything. But I'm telling you, it's a lot of parents. I don't know. I know some kids that parents don't get home from work to 8 o'clock at night, and
when they leave, they in the bed, and when they come home, they probably are getting ready for bed.
Yeah, but there's some dead time there for them to get into a lot of things.
It is, but forget dead time. I know some girls who they would leave home one way and get to school and go change their clothes. I went to school with a lot of them. Come in the bathroom, put on makeup, clothes, everything changed. And then right before they go home, they put back on the same stuff, clean their face off. Sometimes they forget and leave something on.
Yeah, I got caught with lipstick, but and eyeliner. But what I'm saying is, it's not.
That's all.
It's not.
That ain't nothing compared to what they getting caught with.
Right. With girl
in the mouth.
Exactly. No. But you know, it's just so.
And sexting.
Oh my.
Sending body parts. You know, you children and adults need to understand. Anything you put on the internet, it is there forever.
Exactly.
It's there. I mean, I don't understand why you sending naked pictures of yourself on.
And they're sending them with their faces on them too.
Yeah,
not
can you
just
at least not put your face
off,
dummy? You know, jobs are looking, schools are looking, and these kids are just starting. So they're like shooting themselves in the foot before they can even get a good start. Yeah. But what is with them thinking that anal and oral is not a sexual experience? I had that in my own family. I'm like, you are, but I'm a virgin. No, you're not. You've had a sexual experience. I want to say the medical term, but it just seems like too much. You've had a sexual experience. Yeah, and you've released.
And that
a virgin means you don't have no sexual experience.
Well, I don't know. The hymen's not broken. I don't know. I don't want to speak on that because
technically it means you have no sexual experience. You've made out, you've kissed, but a female we don't release easily like a man. So
first of all, let me back up. These little girls that are doing all of this, they're not having orgasms. They're not.
Of course they're not. They don't even know.
They're just doing it because they're pleasing that little boy. And I'm not talking about the nasty perverts that are overage taking advantage of these young girls. I'm talking about these little girls,
boys.
These little girls that are willing participants, on their knees. I know for a fact, I have been in situations where I'm like, baby, we got to get you some help. I don't know what's wrong. You're so caught up in trying to please him, but you're just a notch under his belt.
Okay.
He don't like you, he don't love you, and he's not going to wife you.
High
school, you're going to go through.
Because boys always got a bad rap. He just wants you for your draws. He just want to get in your pants. And, it shouldn't be like that. But nowadays, the girls is just as bad.
Oh, they're worse. They're worse.
They want to catch them. They want to get pregnant. They want to get caught up. I don't know why everybody think having a baby gonna make things better. No, it ain't. It's gonna make it worse.
Yeah, we have to do something, and I think that's why they implemented the whole HPV thing at such a young age as part of the immunizations, because these kids at 11, 12 are having sexual encounters.
Yes.
And it's horrible because emotionally they are not even ready for half the stuff they are in, they're partaking in.
They're not.
And like I said, it's one thing to have an older person take advantage of you, molest you, all that. It's a whole nother entity when these little girls are going out seeking these type of things.
Well, a lot of times that come back to daddy issues.
Yes,
too.
Yes, I agree with that now.
See, you don't have no daddy issues.
I don't.
You was loved. I have daddy issues. So a lot of times that come from daddy issues. But if you have a strong enough mom or role model or somebody, because you got to love yourself first before you can love anybody else. But secondly, these schools need to take some responsibility, because they say they have a dress code, but they don't abide by it. These girls is wearing spaghetti straps, mini skirts, Daisy Duke shorts, Doozy Dukes, Daisy Dukes. They butt cheeks hanging all out at the bottom. The skirts are so short, you better not bend over. It's like the things they wear to school is so inappropriate. And everybody are teenagers, so their hormones are all over the place. The boys can't focus because they too busy looking at your boobs.
Right.
Or looking at your butt.
Right. And I agree. All schools implement a dress code.
But they don't implement nothing.
We were just talking about this today at the high school because one of the administrators said, why would these parents let them leave the house like this? I'm like, half the parents are at work already.
Yes.
And half the parents, these kids have clothes in their bags.
Yes.
So let me tell you, because I know I've caught mine.
Yes.
I'm like, hey, open the bag. Oh, it's just let me see it. Give me them shorts. You got those 6 years ago, and you...
And behind a boy, and Lord knows I ain't caught him plenty of times with clothes in his bag because he didn't want to wear his ROTC uniform.
But that's not a sexual invitation.
It don't matter.
His ROTC uniform.
My point is, you got clothes in the bag.
But they all are
into
stuff.
But the girls do it all the time.
So I don't know. I wish we had I know a great mentoring foundation for young girls. I'm a Diva and Fabulous Foundation led by Kimberly Woods. She does a great job with these young girls. We just need more of that. These young girls really need to understand your body is your temple. That's just not your parent browbeating you, trying to get you on the right path. You have to love yourself, respect yourself in order for anyone to respect you.
Exactly.
And when you're walking around half naked, or you don't care what type of attention you get, negative or positive, there is a problem. And we're not going to sit here and say it's always a mommy or missing daddy issue. Sometimes it's just who you are.
And these kids, but y'all make decisions
based on today.
Correct. That you're not equipped to make. And if that gentleman or your little boyfriend, because y'all ain't got no business with boyfriend, girlfriends anyway, y'all ain't got no jobs, ain't got no cars, and if you do, you ain't paying for them, okay? But my point is, if they love you or they like you enough, they're going to wait. They're going to respect your wishes, and they're going to wait. You don't need to do nothing to please the other person.
But also keep in mind, what is it, a young boy has a sexual thought once every
all day,
7 minutes,
every 7 seconds. I don't know. It's something crazy. It's something. Constantly.
Yeah, it's something sexual that constantly crosses a young boy's mind, a man's mind, and that's how they are wired. We are wired differently, females, and these young girls need to know, like you said, if he's asking you and pressuring you to do these things, then that's not someone you want to chill with.
Exactly.
And if you're the one that's pressuring or saying, I want to do this and I want to do that, there is something internally
wrong with you.
you.
So take a look at yourself.
Exactly.
Because if you keep your mind stayed on Jesus, you won't be worried about sex. How about that?
Well, that's not true.
You not once every 7 minutes or 7 seconds. No, you wouldn't.
But
no, it's a good thing.
These little girls really need to understand that those rainbow parties and these sex parties and all this stuff is nothing positive's coming from it. And believe me, everyone will find out. Nothing is a secret now. And if you don't want that reputation, that bad rap, straighten up,
And dress like a lady. Everybody does not need to see your boobies. You don't need to show all that cleavage, the little you got. Cover up. Your cookie and your stuff is for you. You need to look nice.
Yeah, it's just, that was just something I wanted to touch on because, just being around, middle school and high school young ladies and the things that I see and hear, it's just heartbreaking because they don't know. Even when you decide to straighten up, sometimes that's a whole nother entity trying to clean your reputation up in itself. Exactly. You may have done these things in middle school, and now you're in high school, you want a fresh start, but you're still being labeled as that chick, So stay from behind the buildings and under the bleachers and out of these little sex parties and all that type of stuff, and just look within and think how you want to be perceived.
And do something positive. You can always go help someone because at the end of the day, Tuesday, we made history again. A woman is the president. She is the Democratic, what's she called? Presumptuous president. She will be the president of the United States, and you can too. You can too.
Yeah, that's Lisa's thing. But you guys, thanks for listening again. And if you have daughters out there, please take a second and just talk to them and see where they are emotionally and where they are with sexual encounters. And don't think they're going to give you the right answers up front, but stay diligent in trying to teach your daughters how to respect themselves. And until next time, we'll talk to you again. See ya.